Very often, you need to create new columns in data frame based on existing information in the data frame. There are two ways to create new columns. Most Pandas tutorials will show you the first way, which creates a new column in place of the data frame. However, it is something I strongly do not recommend. What I'm advocating is a second way, that is using the assign function. Here, the assign method always returns a new data frame object. And if you're aware of functional programming, this is a very nice thing to have. And it can be nested to create more elegant code. One of the direct use of the case is to create new features based on combination of existing features. In Pandas, this translates to the creation of new columns in a data frame. First, I want to show you the conventional but not recommended way to add new columns. Recall the flight distance we calculated earlier in the data frame df1, which contains all the flights on the 1st of June. We can create a new column called distance by assigning the previous distance variable to df1, like this. When I run it, I get a warning message saying that I'm trying to set values to a slice of data frame. Remember that df1 is a slice of the original df object, and we want to modify it in place. Most of the time, this is not a problem. You can read more about this by following the link here in the warning message. In order to be rigorous about our code and remove the warning, we can make a copy of the slice. This will create a new data frame object. And if you apply the same operation, the warning issue is no longer here, because it modifies a new data frame object. And you can see the new column is appended to df1. Next, I will show you how to do this without in-place modification. In order to do this, we can use the assign function. Simply assign distance with a distance variable. As a result, a new data frame is returned by the assign function. Let me show you a new trick. We can also use the lambda function to apply the distance calculation while creating the new column. Even better, you can let the query function together to assign function. First, from the original large data frame, we query all flights from the first day. Then we assign a new column by executing an inline calculation using the lambda function. Finally, you have such elegant one-liner doing all three tasks.